on the good side, normally for the most part, I think people are able to find something like I have and get a way to make this work without going the surgery route. Alright, so today's video is completely different than any video I think I've ever created. In the summer of 2023, I was diagnosed with an eye condition which is called recurrent corneal erosion. It actually sounds a lot worse than it really is, but it's definitely a terrible, terrible experience and something I hate dealing with. So today I'm going to talk to you about what recurrent corneal erosion is, what my experience has been so far over these past 6 months. I was diagnosed about the first week in July, and it's the first week in January. And I'm also going to give you some tips of what I've done that has really, really helped with my condition and has been like just a lifesaver. So click like, click subscribe, indulge in your life at indulgeclothing.com for the merch, and let's get into this totally different edition of a Big C Vlogs video. All right, so let's get into this. So I, as I mentioned, was diagnosed with this the first or second week of July of 2023. Now, what exactly is RCE, or recurrent corneal erosion? Well, this right here. So this is essentially what RCE is. As you can see, it can lead to sudden onset pain, blurred vision upon wakening, which is really the only time that I have this issue happen. That does a lot better job of explaining it and has giant big words that I literally don't even know how to say. So now, from what I was told from the 2 doctors that I went to, is essentially normally this starts with a cut on your eye or something like that. For me, I never recall that happening. I don't recall anything getting in my eye. I don't recall having any eye pain. I literally woke up one morning and it felt like somebody had stabbed a needle into my eye, and I was in very, very excruciating pain. That's the only way I know how to describe it, is like getting an IV, but getting an IV in your eye. Your eyes will feel like tired, and for me, the first time I remember it was right before we went to New York. I actually wanted to take some melatonin because I was wanting to get up really early. I needed to get a bunch of videos done so we could leave the day after. I took the melatonin, I woke up the next morning, and my left eye was just in terrible, terrible pain and was fairly blurry, and I could not figure out what it was. I have always had 20/20 vision. Even at these appointments, they checked my eyes afterwards, and I still essentially have 20/20 vision. I just also have this issue. So after that happened, that was in May, I then did not experience any issues for about a month. I didn't really think much of it. I kind of thought just the melatonin made my eyes heavy and tired, and just whatever, just moved on, didn't really care. So comes about the middle of June, after we went to Orlando, I then was waking up almost every day with this pain, and I would wake up on Monday, have this sharp pain, have blurry vision. In a day or two, it would be gone, my vision would be normal, and then maybe on Friday I'd wake up again, boom, it would hit me again like a needle in the eye, blurry vision. I'm like, what in the world is going on? It also caused a lot of like puffiness around my eye. My eyes would look real puffy, well, at least the left one would. And so after dealing with that for about 2.5 weeks, my wife finally convinced me to go to the eye doctor, which I did not want to do because I'm not a fan of doctors, and I just didn't really want to hear bad news. In my mind, I'm like, I'm totally going blind and losing my vision, and luckily that was not the case. So I go to the first doctor's appointment. They look at my eye, and they said that essentially I had RCE, or recurrent corneal erosion. So what essentially happens is your eyes are dry when you go to sleep, and then when you wake up, the part of your eye that's like covering and protecting everything, is essentially attached to your eyelid. And so then when you open up your eyes, you end up tearing off that top layer, and depending on where it tears at, in my case, it had tore like right over the eye. It caused that blurry vision. Now, I will say I had instances where like it hurt really on the inside or really on the outside. Those instances, I normally did not have blurry vision. It was only when it was right on the middle, like right on the pupil or whatever that's called. That's where that it would be the worst. So the doctor was very knowledgeable. He was like, hey, you're gonna be fine. I'm like, look, I'm going to Myrtle Beach in a week. I've got Raw next week to watch. And he said, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put a Band-Aid on your eye. It's essentially a contact lens that has no prescription, but it like protects your eye from sticking to the eyelid, and then your eye's able to heal. So I did that for a week. Worked phenomenally. Returned to him 8 days later, the day we went to Monday Night Raw in July. He took out the contact. He was like, everything looks great. He did some vision tests with me. 20/20 vision, sweet, amazing. He then told me that I needed to get some eye drops, and I should probably put some eye drops in occasionally because this is all related to like dry eye-ness. And so that would help me not have this problem. So I took his recommendation. He gave me some samples. We took those samples with us to Myrtle Beach. I occasionally used eye drops. The entire week I was at Myrtle Beach, I did not have a single issue with my eyes. Don't know how, don't know why, just didn't. We returned from Myrtle Beach, and the Monday that we're back here, I wake up to edit all the videos from Myrtle Beach, and I almost just could completely not see out of this eye. Now you gotta remember, I have 20/20 vision, so for me, normally I can see very, very well. If I was to cover my right eye, I almost couldn't read anything. I mean, the entire eye was blurry. The benefit I had is this eye was still at 20/20, so I had like 80% vision. I was still able to do a lot of things, so that was great. So things keep moving forward. I'm trying to use these eye drops and trying to fix it. Then, probably about 2 or 3 weeks after that, first week in August, I wake up and boom. And it happened in my left eye about 4 a.m. I woke up, opened up my eye, terrible pain, like 10 needles going into it. I put in my eye drops to try to make it better, tried to get back to sleep, wake up about 6 or 7, it happens in my right eye. To the point that I actually had my wife edit the video for that day because since it had happened in both eyes, I couldn't see at all. My entire world was blurry at this point, and it was probably the most miserable day of my life. So the healing time can sometimes be 24 hours, it can sometimes be longer. In that case, within 24 hours, the right eye was better, the left eye took like another week. Then after that happened, a similar case happened again, but this time in the right eye, not in the left eye. So I said, all right, I'm going back to this doctor. I want to have him check it again. So I go back, he checks it again. He gives me a referral to a specialist because he says, yeah, you have RCE. There's not really a whole lot we can do. There's some laser surgery you can do. There's apparently some kind of like eye duct surgery that they can do that supposedly helps with like keeping your tears in your eye so that it doesn't get as dry. So they referred me to a specialist, but things got better and I didn't want to spend the money to go to the specialist. So I just continued to go on this course. Come October, it hit again and it just kept hitting with a vengeance to where I finally called the specialist thinking that maybe the first doctor was wrong both times. I'm like, first of all, it doesn't make sense that I'm told that it's due to a scratch in my left eye and then now it's happening in my right eye. I'm like, I feel like this is something else. I go to the specialist tells me the exact same thing. Yep, you have RCE, recurrent corneal erosion. You could do this surgery, you could do this, but it's about an 88% chance that that'll be a success, which sounds pretty good. But when you're talking $3,000 to $5,000 for surgery, it's kind of, well, maybe not. So this doctor told me to actually use some gel. So we ended up getting the gel. I started putting the gel in every night. And since then, things have gotten a whole lot better. Let me explain exactly what I've done to try to fix, well, not fix, but to try to help solve this issue to where I've been able to work consistently and not have eye pain and not deal with this every single night. So here's what ended up happening. They told me to use this gel, which I know the other doctor had also mentioned this gel, but I was just using eye drops at the time, not thinking it was as severe because he genuinely thought within a week everything would be fine. So this is the gel that they've had me use, Refresh PM. It is a nighttime, really, really thick gel that essentially I pull down my eyelid and put a little line about like a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch under the eye. All right, so you take just a little bit and push into the eyelid like that. And then close your eye and look around, all around while your eye's closed. Also, I use this 10 times magnification to be able to see my eye to put this in. I do it in both eyes because I've had issues with both eyes, and I put this in right before I go to sleep. I'm then able to go to sleep, and for the most part, I would say 98% of the time so far, since October till January now, this has genuinely fixed it. Now, there's a few things that I do that I was not told by them that hopefully will help you. So this, as I mentioned, is like a thick gel. I'm gonna waste a little bit just to show you. So you can kind of see the gel there on my finger. It's a very, very thick gel. And so what I've done is I noticed sometimes when I would put this in my eye, sometimes I would close my eyes and it would seem like the gel would actually get caught on my eyelids and would kind of waste the gel. So to solve that, what I started doing was pulling my eyelid down, putting it in, pulling the other eye down, putting it in, closing them both at the same time. And with my eyes closed, I look around a million different directions. Go in circles, go left to right, up and down, basically trying to get this gel all over my eye as much as I possibly can, so that hopefully I can sleep for 7 to 9, well for me more like 6 to 9 hours, and not have this problem. Now the other thing they suggested was preservative-free eye drops. I do buy those. You get like 2 bottles about like this. Sustain is the brand that they told me to use. I think these are about 28 bucks at Walmart for 2 of them, about right around the same price on Amazon. I'll have links to both of these below for Amazon for anybody who may need to get these exact preservative-free eye drops and this Refresh PM. They actually sell these as a group on Amazon, so it's all kind of one thing to help people. Now, the other thing I've done, say I wake up at 3 a.m. and have to run to the restroom, I take these eye drops and I put them in at 3 a.m. I don't know if it's helped actually, but I can say I've only had about 1 or 2 issues with my eyes since October, which is when I started using this combination. And those issues were very minor. One of them was a little more severe. It was like right after my birthday. The left eye got very blurry. It honestly took it about 2 weeks before it finally got back to 100%. But because I have good vision and my right eye was fine, it really didn't affect me that much. I would only see the blurriness if I closed my right eye. I could see I couldn't read fonts and stuff like that. So it was a million times better than it was before. Now, the other thing I've done, which I don't have a bottle of it, I forgot that I used the last bit when we were out of town, have not bought another bottle, but I'll pop it up here. Lumify. Lumify has been a lifesaver. Now, it is not preservative free, but I can say when I was having the months of really having problems and would wake up in excruciating pain with my eye kind of swollen out of my head, I could take the Lumify, put in a drop or 2 of Lumify. It would get rid of the redness. It would take the swelling down. It would help with the pain, and I would actually be able to get to sleep. So that is my honest recommendation. Have the Lumify sitting there on the sideline in case you have a problem. Those are $13 to $20 a bottle for, yes, a tiny bottle. And then have those for the emergencies. Before you go to bed at night, put in the Refresh PM. And if you wake up during the night, use the preservative-free eye drops. I also normally put these in as soon as I wake up in the morning. Also, one that I forgot to mention in this video, so I had to make this clip. When you're waking up in the morning or even in the middle of the night, try to not just instantly go from asleep to opening your eyes. Try to wake up without opening your eyes, slowly move them around, try to slowly open them to see if you feel any pain or any tearing. I actually even got to the point that when I would wake up sometimes, I would blindly reach for my eye drops and put my eye drops in before I would even open my eyes. Outside of that, this does cause a lot of light sensitivity. So basically I wear glasses all the time now, even in winter. You might can even tell depending on, like here, you can see there's like no tan around my eyes because I wear sunglasses all the time now. And if I have any weird feelings in my eyes or anything, I'll throw them in as well. Because with RCE, it kind of feels like something's stuck in your eye when there's nothing stuck in your eye. So like think of feeling like there's a pebble underneath your eyelid that's not actually there. It's miserable. And then the feeling is like a non-stop feeling of being poked in the eye. And like I said, the pain is like just being stabbed in the eye with a needle. So it's very unpleasant and just not a great experience. But on the good side, normally for the most part, I think people are able to find something like I have and get a way to make this work without going the surgery route. From what the second doctor told me at the specialist, you know, it can get to the point for people who have very, very severe cases that they do get the surgery. But luckily for me, I don't think that's going to be the case. Things have been phenomenal these past 3-ish months, and so that's really why I wanted to make this video. I know this is a semi rare condition, but I think anybody who has it or gets diagnosed with it will look it up, and hopefully my video will help some people, and maybe if they follow these steps, they will quit having issues as well. That's really what I'm hoping for by making this video, because this gel with these drops and the Lumify for emergencies has really been a lifesaver for me, and has really helped this issue that I had for months. I mean, I had this steady from July till October, and in October is when they were like, get this one, put it in every night. And so I started doing this, started doing my whole eye roll thing when I'd put it in once I saw it was getting stuck on my eyelashes, and I just use this as a backup. I almost have to buy these every month, so I will say it's about, these are $12 to like $15 depending on where you go. Like I said, these are $22 to $28. Lumify is $12 to $20, but you won't have to buy a Lumify every month. But for me, I've been almost having to buy these about every month or every other month, every 6 weeks, I guess you could say. But $30 to $40 to not be in this excruciating pain and to be able to see is just completely worth it. So hopefully this video made sense. I know for my normal audience, y'all didn't even probably click on it, but I know there's going to be some people out there that'll have this issue, that'll be researching how to help, and hopefully this video will help them. As I mentioned, I'll have links down below for all three, for the preservative-free eye drops, for the Refresh PM gel, and for the Lumify, which is what has really helped me. So hopefully this video helps you out if you have this terribly, somewhat rare eye condition like I have. So thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, of course, leave them down below in the comments. I will definitely get back to you with any answers that I may have if I'm able to have them. I would also like to state that I am not in any way providing medical advice to people. I am just trying to tell you about this issue and about what I was able to do to help make this issue better for me. This is just my experience, but maybe if you do these things, you'll have a similar experience and not be dealing with this as much. Click like, click subscribe, indulge in your life at indulgeclothing.com for the merch. And we'll see you next time when we're back to tech or a vlog or a Tesla or whatever we're doing. See you then. Deuces.